All right. Hello, 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 viewers. Come on in.
Hello, hello.
All right. Listen, we are here. It is Monday. It is 6 p.m. And so it's Green Table Talk Show time.
Time for the green table.
All right, all right. So listen, we're not going to prolong the time because we got a special guest and I want to give her all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. So we're going to jump right in. And I just want to formally welcome to the Green Table Senior Care Talk Show. I'm your co-host, Jessica Wright.
And I'm Ishonda Blue.
And we are your co-hosts and your senior care experts. And we are glad to have you here with us on this Monday. And I love to always tell viewers why we do the Green Table Senior Care Talk Show. We want to help our viewers navigate senior care, because what we see and what we have seen in the past, no one knows what to do, where to go, and where to look for services. So we wanted to come on, create this platform to provide free resources to talk about how to navigate senior care, where to start, and what resources are available for you. And so that is why we do what we do every Monday here on the Green Table Senior Care Talk Show. So please, please, please share this, like this, tag someone in the comments. Let them know that they need to be on the show.
Yeah.
They need to tune in because, listen, this hits every household. I was talking yesterday to a group of seniors and I was just telling them the statistics and how, in less than 5 to 10 years, it's going to double from 46 to almost 80 million seniors. And so this is going to hit every household. And so we want to just sound the alarm here on the Green Table Senior Care Talk Show and let you know the ins and outs, the do's and the don'ts, and what to do to prepare to take care of your loved one when they can no longer take care of themselves. So,
yes.
Now, Ishonda, tell them a little bit about who we are.
We are your senior care experts. We are registered nurses. We are the co-founders of Innovative Senior Solutions and Innovative Senior Solutions franchise.
Yes.
We started our business back in 2007 with a personal experience of taking care of our grandmother who did not want to go to a nursing home. This is where we found our mission to improve the lives of seniors by preventing them from going to a nursing home and actually keeping them in their home and community longer.
Yes.
We started out doing home care. And through the years, we added on personal care homes and adult daycare. And we made a decision in 23 to make adult daycare our flagship operation, acquiring 3 centers, going from 2 to 5 locations in Georgia. And then in 24 is when we took the next step to franchise our adult day model. So other people now can also invest and start their own adult day center. Hey, Aviana. So yes, that is who we are. We've been doing this for a long time. We've been doing everything in the senior care community related to community care.
Yes.
And we also have a background working in nursing homes.
All right. That's us. So you've heard it here. You heard why we do what we do, and you heard why we are the senior care experts. And so, listen, we're going to go ahead and jump right in because, listen, I want to give our special guests all the time because we talked with her and we just said we had to have her on.
Yeah.
We had to bring her and let you viewers hear the conversation because, again, this hits every household. And so today we want to give you inside the life of a family caregiver. And so she's going to talk about self-care, being a caregiver, and then how to make sure you take care of yourself, doing the self-care work, right? Because so many times we see where the caregiver actually goes down before the patient that you're caring for. So we want to talk about how you can have balance, right? how you can make sure that the needs of your loved one is being taken care of, and also making sure that you as the caregiver are being taken care of. So we're going to jump right in. Well, I'm going to bring up Dr. Alicia Ritchie. I'm going to let her introduce herself because, listen, she is a visionary. She is an entrepreneur. She is an author. She is all things. She's been a caregiver, so she's done all the things. So I'm going to let her formally introduce herself as we bring her up to the stage, and then we're going to jump right in. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Hi, and thank you for having me, ladies. I think you've done an amazing job of introducing me, and I want to land right there. Like I'm a woman of many titles. I wear many hats, but I will be honest to say that the most honorable title that I have ever had the opportunity to wear is that of caregiver for my beloved mother, Ozzie Ritchie Palmer. And I'll say Ozzie Kenshin's Ritchie Palmer, tying her back to her South Georgia roots.
Yes, yes. And so I can definitely relate to you, out of all the things,
Mm-hmm.
that is it. Caregiving, being able to care for our grandparents, being able to do that outweighs all the other things for me in
Absolutely.
my book. So yes, I totally understand. So welcome, Miss Ritchie, Dr. Ritchie, to the Green Table Senior Care Talk Show. And so
Thank
we
you.
want to jump right in because listen, when we talked to you last week, we were like, our viewers got to hear this story because we just talked to so many caregivers and we see this happening, and we know it's powerful when someone who's actually done it or doing it says it. So, because it's a community of caregivers, and they love to hear from people who've actually walked the walk, right?
Absolutely.
That's why we have you on today.
Thank you.
Well, Dr. Ritchie,
Uh-huh.
can I get you to tell the viewers a little bit about your bio because this is significant? How
Okay.
it hits us all and it hits us. It don't matter what we're doing. Like you said, we still wearing all these hats, and it still hits us when we have to be the caregiver. Can you tell the viewers just a little bit about you?
And I guess you saw me trying to escape that. Saw me trying to escape that. I am president of Indigo Life Communications professionally. First of all, second to being a caregiver, having been a caregiver, I enjoy the title of sister and I enjoy the title of auntie. Um, Auntie allows me honorary access to the life of motherhood without having born my own biological children. So I love the fact that I get to be called auntie. I'm also sister. I am one of 9 siblings. So, and I say that because this really was a village act. Um, I bore a lot of the caregiving responsibilities because I was the one that returned home. So I was there in the home. In addition to that, professionally, I am president of Indigo Life Communications, which is a community building consultancy, and we deliver services around training, consultation, business coaching. We also publish a magazine and publishing. By the way, we publish our own magazine, Indigo Life Magazine, and we're excited that our latest issue to be released will feature Ishanda and Jessica. So we're excited about that. You're right, that is important because much of that was impacted during the time that I was able to give care to my mom. So, and I'm also author of Who Wants Watermelon for Breakfast, which is an ode to my mom and what she did as a mother in a crucial time in our family, to offer watermelon for as a breakfast item, and really sold it, just created hoopla around it. We didn't know that we were getting a mere fruit, but it was the way she packaged it and presented it to us. And she was for me, a business coach, looking at how she sold a simple meal that would appear to be nothing, but had us slobbering and clamoring for more. So that's who I am professionally, and what I do as a member of my own family.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. I'm interested to hear more about this watermelon for breakfast.
Absolutely, absolutely. You see my two watermelons in the back. It's super cool when you create a brand, because people just start buying your stuff every time they see a watermelon. I gotta get this for Alicia. I gotta get this for Alicia. So we got a lot of watermelon items around the house.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow. Yes.
All right. Come on in, viewers. I see you. We see you. Hello, Miss Stone. Hello, Sis Carter. Come on in, viewers. Tag someone. Get them in the room. Listen, we have a special guest, Dr. Richie. She's going to talk about her experience with caregiving for her late mom, and then how she did that with self-care, maintaining her own health and wellness as well. So come on in, grab your seats, and invite someone else to come join us. All right. You want to get started?
Let's get started. Question number 1. Can you share some of the most challenging and rewarding aspects of caring for your mother?
Yes, and I'll start with rewarding. My mom was my best friend. And if you think about how much time we spend with our best friend, sometimes we spend the least amount of time with our best friend. We often think, we got to get together. We got to do this more often. We got to make time for each other. So you get busy about your lives, and sometimes those close friendships have to take a back seat. Well, I had the pleasure of spending every day, all day, with my best friend. So that was one of the most rewarding aspects of caregiving. And I'll say that my mom was very coherent, sharp woman. She was the woman who had all the answers, whether the answer was, you need to pray about that, or whether the answer was, I wouldn't go there if I were you. So she was the one, mama. And, I did this. She was our biggest cheerleader. This house was like Grand Central Station. She was an entertainer, and the phone would ring all the time. There was always somebody coming, fresh flowers every week. So my mom was that it girl. And to wake up to it, to go to bed with it was truly a rewarding experience. One of the greatest disruptions of my life. And I say disruptions because I was busy building a business and, establishing relationships, and all of that came to a halt. For the benefit and the reward, I'll say, of caring for my mom, one of the greatest challenges was that I dove into caregiving exclusive of my own care, because I thought they weren't used in the same sentence, right? Caregiving meant, in terms of how I approached it, total and complete sacrifice of self. And I wouldn't, if I had to do it again, I wouldn't approach it that way. Because in order for me to be the best caregiver, it required that I be in the best position of wellness for myself. I didn't do that. And so I dove into that period of my life again in a sense of complete sacrifice of self. When my mom mentioned to me in 2022, she said, "How do you know you're going back to Cordele?" I was in Cordele, Georgia at the time. My mom lived in Miami, Florida, my parents. Shout out to my dad, who is still with us, my bonus dad, Mr. James Palmer. And I said, Mother, why would you say that? Why would I not go back to Cordele? I was home visiting. And she said, I need you here. Say less. So I
Mm.
went back to Cordele, packed up everything, and came back home. And again, if I didn't mention this before, when I came home, I was 60 pounds lighter than I am now. 60 pounds less. I weighed 60 pounds less at that when I first entered into that period in my life, 60 pounds less. And I thought when I began caregiving, which is one of the challenges, that I'm forgetting about me. It's all about you, Mom. And even she noticed it. We laughed one day because I'd make her salads every day. And if she'd say, give me a piece of that pound cake, I said, Mom, you know better. You know better. You can't have that. She said, well, when I went to the doctor, he said she said, I've lost 17 pounds. What about you? So she knew, and I was like, Mama, wait, that's a little too much shade now. Wait a minute, Mama, I'm doing this for you. Stop it, Mama. So she knew the difference, and she would, beg me, listen, this is, I'm not asking you to sacrifice yourself. I need you, yes, but I also need you to take care of yourself. I didn't have the bandwidth to manage because of how I was thinking. So I thought I'll give her all of my day and I'll work on my business all night. Well, if you're doing business, that's a whole 24 hours.
Right.
That means there is absolutely no time for you. And psychologically, I was okay with that. Or at least mentally, that I thought that's what I should be doing. I thought that's what caregiving required. So to answer the question, I had the pleasure of serving my mom, a woman who had served her family and her community well. My mom retired as an administrator at a prestigious university here in South Florida, and the students that she served still, highly regard her. So she served us well. She served well in the church of all ages. She was, like I said, she was that girl. And the people that would come, it wasn't old people or older people stopping by. These were younger people who would come and want to sit with her. I had the pleasure of calling that woman my mother. The most challenging was the way I understood caregiving. And I thought it meant complete sacrifice of self to ensure the wellness of someone else, in this case, my mother.
Question, or well, let me say it this way. Can you kind of describe to the viewers how the caregiving never stops? Like, I hear you talking about how much you gave to the point that, you neglected yourself, but it was a reason why, because the
Yes.
caregiving doesn't stop. And a lot of people don't understand that. Can you touch
Right.
on that just a little bit?
Absolutely. So I was there to ensure, and mind you, I got 8 other siblings who were also playing a role, but I was in the house. So it meant that I was the one who prepared lunch and dinner, and my mom was, she was kind of spoiled. So, after she's gonna eat it 1 or 2 days, and after that, that's all you know how to cook. So, right. So there was the meal preparation, or not just the preparation, but the preparing of the meal. There was making sure, because of course you're going to the doctor, so you're going with them to doctor visits. There's the midnights or the evening nights or the nights if something happened, if the blood pressure went up. That meant that I needed to get up and give her a medication, or if there was something that just wasn't right, you're that person. But not only the physical care. Again, my mom was a socialite, so she loved talking. which so it meant that that social aspect of care, she wanted that too. The conversations, she wanted that. My mother thought she was still an administrator at the university, and I had to tell her, Mama, it's okay. You have retired. And she thought I was her administrative assistant. So it's, can you file this? Can you make me a copy of that? You know, so you just, okay, Mama. And then it was put your schedule on the wall so I'll know what times not to bother you. Well, I thought, okay, that's gonna work. And she, Alicia, oh, you can do this because girl, this ain't nothing for you. And I'm like, Mama, that, that's time too, right? So it was ongoing, and I did enjoy spending time with her, but she also made her life my life. So whether it was call this company and see why they have it, so and so. So it was a comprehensive package of caregiving for me with my mom.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you don't get a chance to clock out.
Yeah, you don't clock out.
No, no. And she would sometimes tease me. You know, she'd call me to the room and I, yes, mother. And she'd say, have a seat. I got to tell you something, Mama. Now, you know, I'm in the back doing something. And she would say, girl, like I got the tea for you. And I'd sit down and say, what, Mama? And she said, look at you with your nosy self. I thought you didn't have. She was quite an entertainer, and so I enjoyed it. Like I said, but you nailed it. It doesn't ever stop.
Yeah.
It doesn't stop. And you don't always recognize the impact that it's having on you as well.
Right. 'Cause you said you know, it's hindsight now that you see, oh, well, I should have took some time to take care of me so I could have been even better caregiver for my mom.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
let's talk about that. Give our viewers some advice on how caregivers who are struggling to prioritize their own self-care while supporting their loved ones. Give them some advice. What advice can you give them now, how in hindsight?
The first thing I'd say is to adopt, because you except you do this, it's not going to happen. So you have to embrace the idea that in order to serve well, I must be well. So be well to serve well. You got to
That
start
didn't
there. And then self-care, it has to be viewed holistically. It's not just getting your nails done or getting your feet, your yeah, a pedicure, a manicure, getting your hair done. That's a part of it. But I am looking now at self-care as a holistic practice. How well am I spiritually? How well am I solically, or in my emotions, or in my mental state? How well am I physically? So that those are two things. One is the mindset. There has to be a mindset shift that self-care is not independent of caregiving. They
Mm,
have to work together. And you have to lead with yourself as a priority, not from a self-centered perspective that only ends with you, but self-care as a priority that ends with the wellness of others, particularly those that you are serving.
yeah, yeah. That Go ahead.
I have a question. So, is there a particular reason why you didn't? Because you could have. Let me ask you this: could you have gotten some help? Because there are caregiver services out there. I don't know if there are day centers there. Was there a reason?
That's an amazing question. Um, One thing is I had help. So I have to acknowledge the help that my siblings provided. Um, my baby sister, who would who was much of a socialite, as is my mom. So she has interestingly, she has a self-care business. So all of her products, the candles, the body butters, the body scrubs, the teas, she'd bring them over, whether it was the oils, and there would be my mom helping her with packaging. So that was a part, that she played. There were my two older sisters who don't live here, who would call and engage her socially. There were my brothers. My brothers, one's gonna bring her stuff she shouldn't have. He's like he's like her sneak it in partner, right?
Right.
But that was also a part. There was a brother who brought fresh flowers every week. There was a brother who would come over on Sundays he's gonna help with cooking. So I had more than the average person has, however, again, being in the house, it was a 24 hours, 7 days a week role for me. And as I thought about the service that you all are providing, because sometimes we don't think about it until we're in it.
Mhm.
And I would say that is the importance of meeting you all at the green table, not just waiting till you get there, but equipping and empowering yourselves with tools and knowledge about resources that are available. Because to be honest, I didn't know about the resources. It would have been an easy something to find out, yes. But when you're in it, that's not the time to learn about it. And
Yeah.
so that was an amazing question, because help is available. In hindsight, I think about what help I could have gotten. And again, I saw caregiving, if I could use this analogy, there is school, and then there are extracurricular activities, right? Caregiving really is a full-time job. And so there I was trying to run a business full-time, caregiving full-time. And so the more you know about what resources are available, that's how well you can balance the two. So why I took it on, so much of it, largely because that was my girl, right? That was probably a large part of it. And I don't know. And there were friends who would stop by, so that was also a break that you got too. So I just wanted to throw that in there. The church family would come by, and her pastors would come by. So I got a lot of support. Um, there was more that I could have engaged had I thought about it from that perspective, the importance of it.
And probably how you utilize them, because I know even with people coming by, having the support there, and you're still there. I know with my grandmother, she still called me, even though
Hello.
her
I think
child
that's
is
the only
there.
name she remembered.
She just called, right. She just called me. She still would call, so even though other people were there, I'm pretty sure your mom called you because you were there 24/7. And so she just, that's just what
And people started to see me in that role. So,
Mhm.
for example, she could be, Alicia, could you fix such and such? And I'm like, Mama, that one sitting right there.
Mhm.
They can do it too. But what got me was one day my brother was in her room with her, and they were talking, and he's in the recliner, and in my dad's recliner, she's in one. And then he says, Alicia, can you put on something for Mama real quick? I said, huh? Did you just say that? Right? So not only was my mom and dad seeing me in that role, you got siblings who started to see you in that role. Some of it was because they knew that she was going to call me anyway. So let's just get there. Alicia, Mama wants such and such, So if that answers your question.
I think this is so good because a lot of times we talk to family caregivers and they're reluctant to get help. And it's almost like they take it on. It's like I don't know if it's a badge of honor or and then it's a sense of trusting, are they gonna give the same care I'm giving? And so we see that a lot too.
Yeah.
I remember once, and we laughed about this. By the way, I want to mention my mom's sister, Aunt Letty, who was very instrumental in the social aspect of it. Like they talked every day. They each buy the same garment and say, "Let's wear our such and such day." That was also, an important part of the caregiving as well. But back to the point about being there all the time, I remember my mom said, "Child," she told somebody, "Child, I saw a light." She had gone to the hospital and she said, "I saw a light. I thought it was the angel." Honey, it's Lisa's computer over there. I didn't know the girl had said she had brought her office to the hospital. So she knew that wherever she was, I was gonna be there. And I remember the day on Wednesday when she got in the ambulance. To She passed away on a Friday, and that Wednesday when she was taken away, I was there at the back of the truck, and I said, "God is with you, and I'm on my way." And she said, "Okay." Like she took comfort in knowing that we loved her and that as much as we could, we were going to be there for her, and that I took that role seriously. And for me, it was a God-given assignment. I would do some things differently, but I wouldn't shy away from that opportunity.
Right.
Yeah. I just want to applaud you and your family for what you
Yes.
guys done. It's such this is a book, lady. This
Yeah.
is such a book, beautiful testament, how everyone pitched in. And I don't know if you know how important those conversations was to her.
Mm.
That was therapeutic.
Yeah.
And a
Yeah.
lot of seniors are at home alone and don't have those different interactions. That is just so beautiful. And I want you to know, job well done.
Thank you.
And I know this is going to bless somebody on tonight. And we definitely thank you.
Thank you so
Yes.
much for having me and letting me share the story about this amazing woman. And as I said, the opportunity I had to provide for her what she has provided for so many, and that's love and care. And
Yes.
thank you, ladies, and I hope to use my platform to encourage people to seek help that you all are providing. I have so many friends who are right now at that stage in their lives of caregiving. I just talked to someone
Mm.
last night. I And it's not easy for some.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So, I am so grateful to have you on. I'm so grateful for this platform. I know we don't even know how many people this is touching, but we know that people, the viewers, that they are being blessed, they are being encouraged, they're being inspired. And so I'm just thankful to be able to answer the mandate that has been put on our lives, to sound the alarm, to make sure that seniors are taken care of and that caregivers know options for their loved ones to be able to take care of. Because, as I said before, we plan for everything else, but we have failed to plan for how we're going to be taken care of when we can't take care of ourselves. So this is why we're here. This is why we have the Green Table Senior Care Talk Show, because we want to make sure that our viewers, that caregivers, that seniors know that they have options. So thank you again, Dr. Ritchie.
Thank you. Thank you.
Please, viewers, share this, tag caregivers, because they need to see this episode. And so, again, we're here every Monday, 6 p.m., right here, sharing resources, having special guests on, wanting to make sure you know how to navigate senior care. So, again, thank you all for tuning in, and we will see you right here next Monday at 6 p.m. Thank you all.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
All right.